bloodiest snow. It's our first real snow in a while. We're supposed to get between like 8 and 13 inches or something like that. But that's yesterday's news. So we are, I know the last video we said we were getting it ready for the dyno. In this video, we're actually going to be taking it to the dyno. But don't worry, that is not happening today. I could make it happen today. I have the truck for it, but it's not happening today. It's happening in 2 days. So we got to get wheels on this thing, and we got to make this thing idle so we can make sure that it's fully bled, and then we're going to bring it over to the dyno.
So when I said bleeding it, I meant bleeding the coolant. We did bleed the brakes in the previous episode, as I mentioned. So yeah, opening the hood, and we got the laptop out and hooked it up to the computer, and basically we just needed to make it idle. So I took a map from my B series tune and I just mimicked what the idle air control valve settings were set to, and eventually I got it to idle. And when I finally did, I had to take a look at this remote sensor here. You can kind of see it on the shock tower, and bleed any of the coolant that was going to that, because that's a coolant pressure sensor. Sometimes it's the simple stuff, right? Yeah. I was firing her up and she died, and I was like, why'd she die? And I'm looking at the coolant trims and all that stuff. And then I look at the fuel pressure and it's at 0, and I'm like, I think I ran out of gas. So I'm gonna take the heavy chevy, see if the gas station is open, and yeah, wish me luck. You would think that it'd be easier, that they would have some sort of illumination here. It's almost like they had an electric version of this. So we gotta go to 4 low. Bruh. Chevy problems. We got her in 4 low, boys and girls. The roads really aren't that bad. It's just getting out of the snowed-in driveway. I love this truck so much. It's so pretty. I love the snow. I hate the winter, but I love the snow. Well, after trying 3 different gas stations, I finally found one that was open. We managed to get our diesel and our gas. Look at that. So we got 93 octane over there. And one of the issues I was having was I didn't know if this was actually fully bled. I knew that the lower radiator hose was hot when I ran it last time, which meant that the thermostat probably opened, but this guy here is for water pressure. And I was worried that because it's a high spot, it wouldn't bleed. It was originally sitting back up here. And so I cracked it open there. Nothing was coming out. Cracked it open here, it was barely bleeding. So then I filled this to the top, and that started spitting out. So I put a bottle here, I think I recorded that, and then let it just kind of burp out as much fluid from there as possible, and then capped it while it was leaking out. So that should hopefully get rid of any air bubbles that would be in this line. But the rest of it, the rest of the system, this water level should be well above everything in this engine bay. And I guess worst case scenario, I can drop the back down because I got the wheels on it now, which I may have failed to mention. But yeah, so we'll put some gas in it and then idle it again, I guess. And we even have diesel in case my actual heat in my actual house goes out. Fun stuff.
right, y'all, so it looks like it goes into all the gears. The clutch throw is really long, so I'd like to get like a longer clutch fork if possible. You know, if any of you guys have any suggestions, shoot me a DM. But yeah, we do not have the arrow catch, whatever. Hood pins, the ones that I got with the hood, are all mangled. So we're going to have to buy new ones. We already got some new ones on order, some Chinese ones. But, yeah, man, just on the ground.
I'd like to say the snow couldn't have come at a worse time, but I've lost my heat before, and so I know it could have come at a worse time. Still, 8 inches of snow to shovel on the Monday after work to prepare for your tuning session on the Tuesday after work was not ideal. So, the top layer of the snow was pretty much completely iced over. And my original plan, knowing that the snow was coming and I had a tuning appointment, was to use my neighbor's snowblower. But because of the ice, the snowblower wasn't working. So I had to use shovels. Many shovels. Not just one, many. I will say, though, that the flat tip metal shovel works very well when the snow is iced up.
All right, y'all, so that was a lot of shoveling. This is the first time I've ever had to do this out here, probably with a good 6 to 8 inches of snow, something like that. And yeah, lots of snow. So I've never had to shovel my trailer out of the snow, but I suppose that's what we're doing today. So we shoveled the trailer out of the snow. There's not even enough area for me to put all the snow. The township did a very lackluster job of getting all the snow out of the street. So we did the best we could with what we could. My neighbor over there gave me a shovel, like a dirt shovel, so I could break up all the ice. It was forming ice on the sidewalk. But we started throwing snow in the back of the truck at some point because it got so bad. I've been at it for hours. I've never done this before. I had to put it in front of the garage door, and it's still snowed in. Like, you know what I mean? That truck can pull a lot, but I'm really kind of worried about the angle of this trailer, because normally I run over the sidewalk a little bit. And then, of course, because the street is totally ice, I don't know how I'm going to pull my Civic on the trailer. So I think I'm going to take some pictures and call some people and see what they think. Because this is really a first for me. I know I'm not making tomorrow. Like, I know that's out of the question. And it was supposed to be tomorrow, but I did not account for, my neighbor has a snowblower, so I was like, oh, he'll just let me borrow the snowblower. Well, it turns out that when the snow forms a layer of ice on top, the snowblower doesn't work so well. So I couldn't use the snowblower. But she looks so good, man. She looks so good on the ground. I am excited to play around with this thing finally, man. Stoked.
So since my original appointment of Tuesday night didn't work, my tuner was gracious enough to give me a Thursday night slot, assuming someone could watch his kids. But that meant that I had to do more after-work fun activities to get this Civic on a trailer. So I invited my buddy Dylan over. It's a good name to have. And we came up with a plan. So the idea was to move the trailer out from the yard, move the E30 in front of where the 230i sits, back the trailer up to where the Civic sits in the garage, and then drive the Civic straight onto the trailer from the garage.
All right, well, we got the E30 out of the way. We got Dylan and his son Hunter over here. And yeah, we pushed it back that way, then forward this way, but there's too much ice, so we just started body checking the rear of the car, and it slid over. Getting the trailer out wasn't too bad. I had one casualty, which was this little piece of brick here. We got this really bright floodlight at Home Depot to help out with the job.
Underneath the car, bud.
The next thing that we got to do is get the cover back on this piece of crap, and then back the trailer up to the garage, flip the Civic in reverse, and then pull it on from within the garage. So I don't think this, I hope it'll work. We'll see. It's gonna be tight because this driveway is kind of, you know, we're snowed in, boys and girls. You guys got anything to say? No? Yes? No?
No.
All right. Hunter, you got anything to say?
You got anything?
Said no.
Here, throw me that strap, bud.
It's a good sun right there. It's a good sun right there.
As I mentioned earlier, I didn't fully install the hood pins, and we knew we would be trailering this car. So before getting the Civic reversed into the garage spot so that we could pull it straight on the trailer, we had to tape the hood shut. And we did it with masking tape. It was really annoying, but it didn't leave any residue because it's not duct tape. And we also taped shut this hood vent to make sure that we wouldn't have any bird crap and snow and other things getting inside of the hood. And then we were finally able to reverse it in.
All right, y'all. Didn't really get to record getting it on the actual trailer because the phone was dying. But she's on there, dude. I mean, it's freezing out. So, like, none of the snow is melting. In the morning, I'm going to come by with straps and strap it down. But, yeah, dude, it was a lot of work. I would not have been able to do that without Dylan and his son. So thank you so much, guys, for coming through. That was extremely helpful. But we got the whole fleet here. The E30 is now parked in front of where the 230i goes, and then the trailer is there. This truck put in work, y'all. I'm telling you, it was a 4-low excursion, that's for sure. The whole thing was in 4-low because not only is my street, you know, obviously snowed in, but the rest of the streets are also very, you know, treacherous. So we tried getting the trailer in coming from I think this way first. No, this way. So the truck was facing this way. Then I had to loop it around and then try to get it with the truck facing this way, and it was much easier because I had shoveled out here. But you can see like where the truck is like beached on snow there, here, right? I mean, it's just here, right? But here, but it put in work, yo. I mean, for real, that thing has paid itself off so many times. But yeah, I'm cold and I'm gonna strap it down tomorrow. Welcome back, my friends. This appointment has now been postponed twice. So it's Saturday. Carl at KP Tuning was kind enough to come on his day off and get his mom to watch his kids. So we're going on a Saturday. Got in the way of urban youth, so I wasn't able to teach the kids on the simulators today, but it's okay. With this snow is crazy. It's making everything really difficult and it's not melting. So yeah, first cold winter in a while up here in the Northeast, but stay tuned. Right now the biggest concern, as you can see, is that the hood is masking taped to the front of the car. So I ratchet strapped it with a blanket across it. I'm hoping that keeps the hood from flying up, but we're gonna find out because we're going on a highway, boys and girls. We gonna learn today.
crane. All right, well, I think we arrived here. I don't really know where this place is. He said he would be here at 9. And I don't know if I should unload here, but I guess we're gonna go look around the building and see if there's anyone here. There's a door over there. Maybe I should go check that door. So right now he's tuning some crazy street car. It sounds good. It's a Camaro. Let's look at this. We got all the Chevy LS power, baby. Let's go. Yeah, so he told me to go park across the street. I'm gonna use this parking lot over here because it's pretty empty. And I guess drive the Civic over here, possibly. Something like that. I have to like do work to it. That's the problem. Like, you know, align it and stuff. I think. Don't question me. It is cold, man. It's cold. Okay, here we go. It doesn't want to idle. It's too cold. Please don't die. Please don't die. So we got Alan here.
Hello.
He came and visited.
Yeah. Gonna see if we can make some pow, as they say.
How, as they say.
Yeah.
I failed to remember that my car had not. Like, I knew the toe wasn't good, but I thought it was like 5/8 out, or 3/8 out. But it was like an inch and a half or 2 inches, and the turnbuckles were loose. So we're driving it on the dyno, and it was like, woo, and I drove it on the trailer in the snow, so I had no way of knowing that it felt like crap until we got here. So this is my last pair of good jeans, and luckily I put the NASA shirt with a hole in it in the good shirt bin today. I shouldn't have worn good clothes. Alex has the right idea.
I mean,
with the Carhartt.
Yeah, this is kind of my nice jacket, actually. But yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
I mean, it is a nice jacket, but it's not. It's clean, but it's a Carhartt.
I have a really crappy one at the garage, but yeah, I hope we make some jam.
Hopefully it runs okay.
Definitely gonna be loud.
It's already loud.
Really loud, even giving it a little rev. So. here it's gonna be wicked loud with this like metal ceiling and everything.
It's actually loud in the waiting room. Bow tie. Bow tie.
Yeah, pow time. We should put this on the dyno, dude. Honestly, like, these things are like upsettingly fast.
The dyno session started out a little rough with the toe issues, but also the AEM Infinity was bugging out a little bit. And so we weren't getting VTEC, and then the tuner was having trouble getting past 160 horsepower, which is like not a lot at all.
Definitely should be more than 160.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's made a bunch of pulls, which is good.
Yeah, I like I said, if it doesn't make a lot of power, I really don't give a shit as long as it runs. And then I can figure out the power later. But I think you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Mechanically, like, stick up something in the cylinder.
That's mechanical timing.
Yeah. But that's what he's talking about.
Oh, I see what you're
the
saying.
Set base timing.
Yeah,
at
I
T.
see what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was off when I brought it here because I told him I think it's good, and he said, "Is it good?" And I said, "Well, you saw the toe, right?" And he was like, and then I told him, I was like, "This car has been a park car." Is it misfiring?
That was weird.
It sounded like a misfire. Alright, y'all. So we got the other manifold swapped over. So we got the RBC on, just up on the dyno. We don't have a working idle air control valve because I can't fit the connector in there. But so far so good. The another small issue is that right here we're getting a small coolant leak, like a pinhole, and it's because I brazed to get underneath there just to put the nib on there. So that's a slow leak. I'm gonna get rid of this radiator anyway. It's garbage. If you are ever doubting whether you should spend the extra dollars, the extra $100 or whatever, to get a Koyo or like a CSF or like a real K-swap radiator as opposed to a PLM or some Chinese stuff, just get the Koyo, get the CSF. Lovely. Well, that was cold. She did well. Painter's tape and all. We need to install hood pins on this, and we will, I promise you. But yeah, car made 190 uncorked. And then we brought it back down to 180 for the cap. I'm going to stick with the RBC manifold. It's the same as the other one. The other one was an RSX manifold, and it made more or less the same power for our intents and purposes. But yeah, it did well. You know, when I walked into this, my friends were like, "What do you think it's gonna make?" And I was like, "To be honest with you, I don't even care." It's like, yo, like this car has been apart for 2 years. Like, if it makes something and doesn't break, I'm happy. When we got there, the tie rods were loose for the you know, the steering rack. So it had like 1.5 inches of toe in. And the guy's like, "Yeah, this is not gonna work." He was so mad, I think. And I was like, "Oh," I was like, what if it's like got like some sort of weird wonky like steering rack issue or ball joint or something?" And I'm worrying. He gets the car up in the air and he looks at it and he's like, "Your tie rods are not tight." And I was like, "Oh." But you can't feel it when you're in the snow. Appointment started at 5:30 p.m. I got there at 4:30 p.m. It ended at 10:30 p.m. So shout out to Carl Pritz at KP Tuning. Did a great job. Eventually, I think that we might be getting away from the AEM Infinity. We were sponsored by AEM while they were still producing ECUs, and their stuff did great for me for a long time. But now that I'm getting more particular about my stuff and I'm trying to make my cars run tip-top, you know, I want stuff that also runs tip-top. And the AEM stuff is great, but it's buggy, you know. We had issues where we were changing the fuel map, the volumetric efficiency map, and it looked jagged. You know, the tuner himself, Carl, was saying, like, "This looks jagged. I don't know why." But, you know, he's like, it's a common thing for me when I'm tuning Infinity where they just don't follow any intuition or logic for when you're tuning. Now, that might be a nuanced thing to AEM Infinity that Carl doesn't understand. I doubt it, though, because he has a 6-second LS Turbo Fox body, I think, and tunes a ton of cars and has tuned Infinity for a long time. So I kind of doubt that that's the issue. But he showed me the logs and he showed me what issues he was coming across. And then we're also having troubles with committing modifications. So you would change the map, make an upload, and then it would just not take it. You would run it on the dyno, it would be the exact same thing. And then for whatever reason, the VVC demand was reversed. And I checked all the wiring. I checked the pinouts at the AEM K-Series jumper harness. I checked the pinouts from the harness that I modified all the way to the sensors, and they match the OEM book. So I had issues with the AEM in terms of like it was dropping signals. Like it didn't give me cam or crank signal, but the car was running. You kind of need those for the car to run. So how is the car running and it doesn't have those? And then it was dropping GPS. Then I would unplug the connector and plug it back in and it would work. But yeah, I've heard that these ECUs can be buggy sometimes. And I think we're reaching the end of its life. So I'll probably sell it. Go Hall Tech. I would love to do something fancy like a Motec or something like that. But I think for now, we're just going to leave it alone. I know. It sounds crazy. It runs. I'm just going to leave it alone. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I hope this was enjoyable for you. If it was, come back to the EJ2 Track Rat's Nest and enjoy more adventures with me and my crazy posse of people and friends. That was really weird. Yeah. Peace, y'all. Subscribe, like, comment, and come back for the next one. All right? Bye.